Gentlemen, welcome back. We are on week 3 of pattern design. First, we learned how to design a pattern and place it into repeat. Then we learned how to take that repeat and create a mini wall for coloring using color separations. Now that we have our mini wall and our color separations, now let's go back. There's our repeat. There's our module. There is our mini wall, just so we are clear and we are on the same page. You should all now have at least 3 versions of the colors or colorways of this pattern. I have picked this room based on the style of my module. This is a traditional style design. It is a half drop. It is a trail of a floral pattern, but it is not traditional. It is done in a watercolor, in a loose technique. This is not done in a traditional wallpaper style. So we are going to label this pattern a transitional styled pattern. Hence the reason I picked the room of choice. It is a transitional room. What I like about this room is it has a look through. So I could choose 2 different wallpapers to do this room. Now, here's the fun part, guys. Look at my layers. This is a flat, single layered file. It is CMYK with no extra channels. We now have to re-wallpaper this room. But we need to make a mask of the room separate from the existing wall or the existing wallpaper. I love to use the lasso tool. It is a very simple and crude tool. We can go back and enhance our work using Quick Mask. So I like to get my lasso. As you can see the lasso there. I like to use Option, which allows me to turn it into a click and move tool. So I can go to the corner, click, and now it brings along a straight line. Click, follow the wall. Click, the wall goes all the way down the page to the baseboard. Click, 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 click. Don't forget, you're painting the boundaries of the wall. Now, second to last point, it'll connect itself. So I can leave it out here and let go, and it will connect. Now, hit Quick Mask to see what you made. You will notice if you zoom in that you will have imperfections, bad imperfections. This is where you grab a brush by clicking the brush tool. My brush is on black. Undo. Use the X key to look over here in the left corner. Background, foreground, background, foreground. I want to paint with black. There it is. So look, I can fix my mistakes. Use Shift because almost everything in a room is straight lines. Let's zoom out. Now you can't see those imperfections here, so let's zoom in. Maybe what you need is a smaller brush. There, smaller. Shift, down. There's a notch there. Go in, go down. Your masks, watch what I'm doing, need to be clean. They need to be on the edge. Look, mine was not. I did a crude, quick selection. Go back and fix it. View, fit on screen. You're going to do this. You're going to release Quick Mask and you're going to copy and J that to a new layer. And look, it's the wall. If I loaded that selection and deleted it, From the background, there you go. Now, the only problem is it's not transparent. So really what you want to do is make it not a background, load the selection of the wall, delete that. We should be able to edit and cut through that wall. And there you go. Throw your background out. There you go. So now you can see wall there, wall not there. Wall back, wall gone. You're going to do this, excuse me, until you have the back wall and the lower wall. There's one other tool that is very important in this process. It is adding a guide. There is a vertical corner in this room. Bring a guide across and set it as a corner. This way you know. Now I'm going to reset my history to back when I opened this because this is for you. And I'm going to now show you what the masked room should look like. Here is the room completely masked. Now you're saying to me, watch, go back to Office, far left up on my screen, move over one file to the masked version. It shouldn't look any different, but look at all my layers. Watch. If I turn all my layers off and leave my background, just like when it started. But check this out. There's the room with no wallpaper because I've masked it all out. I have that wall, I have that wall, and I have that wall. I'm going to save these, and I think you should too, just so you can understand what's going on. Now, one last bonus round technique for you guys. Look at this table. This table is glass. There is a reflection in the surface of this table of that laptop, this binder, this picture. Now, if I turn the mask on, you can't see it. But there it is. Look, on, off. I made a mask of that table. Save that in your masks. If you're using this room, obviously, but save any important selections. That's everything and builds the room. Make sure you use your layers appropriately. Now, I'm going to move that layer to the top because it is always above or in front of your wallpaper. It does not need to be below. I'm going to zoom out one. I'm going to go to my module. Now, guys, look at this room. It has wallpaper. Look at the repeat. Does it show you more than one? Yes, of course it does. Look, purple square, purple square. So it's showing you at least one repeat there. 2 to the floor, 3 to the ceiling. If we look at the leaf over here on the right side of the wall, yellow leaf, yellow leaf, yellow leaf. That means this pattern is more than one. There is one module. There is more than one. What I hope is that when we copy this into your file, you start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Command All, Command Copy into my masked room, Command J. Whoops, wrong pattern. Let's go back. Command V. Command Copy, Command V. Now, there it is. It's teeny because I made it low res. Yours should open up huge. Command T, because we're obviously teeny, teeny, teeny. We said wallpaper's about 20 inches wide. You're going to have to Look at your repeat. This and this are the module height. So you could say that that's actually a little tall. Let's make it a little smaller. Let's just say we're going to go edge to edge or ceiling to floor. Now put it in position. Here again, look, there's your corner. Wallpaper meets in the corner. I'm going to put my snap on. Snap. But you also have to do this other wall. Command J to duplicate your mini wall. Look, we're making it super wide. But look, we don't want to seam it and just butt fit it to the next layer. Layer on the right, layer on the left. Because watch, Command H. They're not in repeat. We're seeing a seam. So what we need to do is move it into position. Whoops. And it's going to take us a few moves because of where we are on screen. But if you notice, now we're going from the center line or the corner to the right and to the left with enough room. Now, merge down. Do not flatten or do not select all and cut or you'll lose all the extra canvas. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Merge down. Zoom out. You don't want to just select the right wall and say corner to the end. Watch what happens if you do that. Command T. Hold Shift. We're going to turn this on to distort. We're going to lift by holding Shift our wall. Look at our wall going up into perspective. Look at the line. Use this line to match the edge of the wood railing or crown molding in the room. We should be very close to that. Now at the bottom, look, we're going straight. You're going to have to bend that down. It starts to get really big, really fast. Double click, let it go, but I'm going to do this. Undo, and I'm going to make a bigger selection. I'm going to take my selection all the way across the whole page. Now I'm going to slide my selection across to my room corner, and you'll notice I'm going off the page now. So watch what happens when I hit Command T now. I'm getting that extra bit that's off the canvas. That's nice because it gives me the extra meat. It helps me distort. You're going to have to trust me on this until you start working and see it happen. Same process. Hold Shift, go up. See the room? There's the edge. So when you distort, it literally distorts in all directions. So look what it's doing. And what we have to do now that we've created the angle at the floor, the angle at the ceiling, we want to make sure that those angles are the same. But then watch, we're going to pull the pattern right out. And what that creates is the perspective distance. Double click and say, you're done. Deselect. Now, same thing. Select the whole canvas. You can even do Command All. Slide it over to the corner. Let's move the room so you can see. Command T. Control Distort. Hold Shift so we stay vertical. If you don't hold Shift, look, you can't, verticals are always vertical. Don't do that. Hold shift. Go up. Whoop. Until you're close on the angle. Go down here until you're close on the angle. You can then use these to tweak it. We did not lose anything here, so we can leave it. Double click, deselect. Now you have wallpaper filling your room. We don't want it going through the doorway. So what I'm going to do is select it by using my lasso tool, using option click, 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 and let go. Don't forget, you hold option down and click around. Delete, and there you go. I'm going to leave that there so you can see two different types of wallpaper in the room. Now, that's step one. That is warping or mapping a flat, one-dimensional or two-dimensional art object or a repeat and creating a perspective wall in a room. Hide Command H because seeing those guides drives you batty. Now look at your room. The shadows dictate what's going on. So look at the moldings, the ceilings, the floors. They all tell you stories. The molding to the left is darker than the molding to the right. So we can easily put our guides on, make a whole room selection to the corner. Command H to hide. Now, if you're smart, you will drag and back up that layer and bury it underneath and hide it, turn it off, but you're going to work on this wall for 20 minutes to an hour to 3 hours. If you mess up, you can't go back. Make a copy. Now, Command H, there's my selection. Command L gives us our levels. Now watch how quickly this room falls into perspective. Command L, bring it in, darken the wall. Look at that. Instant perspective. Now, the walls are one thing, but the floor and the ceiling are another. Remember the rule of 3 shadows. You have your direct shadow or your object shadow. We just placed that. But then you have those secondary or grounding shadows. So you're going to get a darkening effect near the ceiling and the floor. We do this very loosely artistically. I like to use the lasso tool. Watch. I make a little bit of a shadowy curve. And then I make another shadowy curve. Now watch. I'll hit Q. It's crude, but it's kind of in the shape of the darker part of the ceiling. Now I can feather, select, modify, feather. You're going to need about 200 pixels. Now watch, Q. That's what happens when you feather. Undo, undo, Q. There it is. The other thing we can do is blur. You've learned this. I don't like to blur masks because I don't think it always blurs the top properly. Look, kind of does, kind of doesn't. Click OK. Hit Q, release Q. You now have a blurry selection. Command H. Command L. I had to hit Command H twice to get rid of my ants. And now we're going to darken again. That upper corner, look, really get that top. Look at the depth we're creating. Deselect. We're going to do it again at the bottom. I'm going to bring a nice deep curve up to here. Look, Q, there it is. Filter blur. There's the blur. Q out. Command H, Command L. See, this process is super simple once you get the mask done properly. Curve it in. Look, there's my shadow. Look at how real, how much perspective is in this room. It's unbelievable. Now, we're also going to do what I call a glow or a reflection of light. Now, the elliptical tool as one of your marquee tools. Just make a simple marquee. See this little white spot in the crown molding? Let's move this around. It's a little darker in there. Look, it's really bright right there. Look, see this as you go across. Yep, I just lost it. Dark to light. We want to create a shadow here. Look, Q. We don't want to blur it as much as we did before. That's too much. We want it to be about like that. So we went 250, now we're at 130. Q it again, H, Command H. Now watch this. You think it looks cool? You think it looks 3D? But this ambient light, look, now you're pulling from the highlights. And look, it just makes the whole thing pop. And if you want, take a little bit of black out. And there you go. Now watch, preview off. Looks pretty good, but now it looks even better. And if you notice, it's following the lighting on the railings. Now, that's pretty much done, guys, except for this one really crazy cool technique that is a bonus technique. I'm going to show you real quick. We have this table surface. We also saved a backup of our wall, but we want to use it. So look, I'm going to turn all my layers off, show you the mask of the tabletop. There it is. I'm going to turn everything back on. Remember, Command, click on the selection. Turn it into a mask. Now you can move it. I want to move it over here. But don't forget, reflections are inverted. So what we want to do is Command T this. We want to control and flip it vertical. Hit return. We're going to maybe not have a lot because look at where we are. So maybe we got to go up here and get it just because we want to get all of this. No one's going to know. Hit Q. Make sure you're on that layer. Command J. I'm going to turn it off to show you. It's floating up here in space. I'm going to bring it down. It's underneath. I'm going to put it above everything. Look, there it is. Whoops. Sorry. But it looks weird because we flipped it. Command T. Flip it again. There you go. Look. Oh my goodness. It actually snapped into place. But it's weird because it's solid. Guys, it's a glass table. You cannot put a solid over a glass table. But what you can do is make it transparent by going into your layer opacity and watch. Look at this. We made it transparent. How cool is that? You can still see the pattern, guys, on there. But now you can also see the shadows coming through the laptop. If you want, grab your eraser, get it bigger, get it softer, and you can erase some of that away and bring it back. Now, it's not any darker, so it's not really helping. But that just puts the wallpaper, look, on and off, guys. Look at that little technique. Fit on page. I'm going to zoom out once. Nobody is not going to know that that is not a real room. And I like the fact that it has that secondary pattern in the background. But you say, Mr. Anderson, how would you put wallpaper behind a wall? Well, look at layer 8. You made a backup. Let's make another backup. And let's move this backup over here. Hold on. Undo. We moved the backup, but we did it without. Let's turn this layer off because we need to turn that one on. We're going to need to move it to said location so it's behind and then move it over. Now, look at the scale. Look at the little piece of the pattern here and the big, because it's in perspective. So we're going to cheat. We're going to turn the other one on, the lit version. This is further away. It has to be smaller. So we're going to cheat and we're going to reduce that down. And we're going to see if we can still get it to fit. We're going to move it around. We're losing a little bit side to side. Make sure we're not losing anything in the doorway. The best thing is if you can make it not follow the same angles as the other. And that's what we've done. Now, behind, so let's break down the layers. We have a background of the original room. We have this backup of the wallpaper that we said we were going to keep untouched. It's bent, but it's unlit. Our extra tabletop section. We have all the wall masks that we made. We have our wall that's behind. We have our wall that's in front. We have our edges and our tabletop. Quite a few layers. But watch what we're going to do real quick. Look, very highlighted edge, very kind of darker edge. We're going to do a quick technique to this and just give it a lot of dimension. You can use a marquee. You can feather it. Select Modify Feather. 200. Command H. Command H again. Command L. Bring in the shadow. Whoop, that's not the shadow. Bring in the shadow. Make it darker from the highlights. Then push the shadow for that ultimate depth. Now it looks like it's really walking away. Let's get our oval tool and let's create a little highlight right here. Let's do this with a quick mask and a Gaussian blur. There you go. Q, Command H again, Command L, and we're going to pull those highlights and really make that corner pop. Get the highlight to pop and then push the shadow down and get that to really open up. Almost push it to where it pops because it's supposed to look like a sunburst coming through the window. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is finito. It is a pretty good looking room. So what I want to do is show you this as a 2-up orientation. 2-up vertical. There you go. Let me just move those over. And now you can see both rooms. So this one, we can make it a little bit bigger. There's the rooms, before and after. On the right was the original. On the left is my new version. Can I go on and on and on and on and keep tweaking it? Yes, I can. There's nuances of shadow and light in here. I could go on forever. But the most important takeaway is we just 3D mapped something that doesn't exist and created false reality. You can sell this to a customer. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a 3D mapping exercise. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you find this fun. Good luck, and have at it.